December 18th, 6:30 p.m. I got it pretty much, it's out of the car. So stopped working at 4:30. I already had pretty much everything off. It was just a matter of the rigging process, and that's what I'm probably best at. Used these to angle the motor, blah, blah, blah. One casualty is the oil pressure or oil temperature. Not sure, but this little pigtail decided to leave the chat. 100% my mistake, obviously. So I'll have Jake make me another pigtail for that. And but that's pretty much it. Not really much to see visually, and I don't think there will be anyway. So the plan is to take all the accessories off, which I kind of did already. Wait till Jake comes, and me and him will take the balancer. He needs to bring me the big pulley, the puller, and the alternator has to come off. What else has to come off? Shit, pretty much everything. The whole oil cooler system, everything. So I'll get that done. But again, this is Monday, right at it. I'm not going to wait around. I'm not going to mess around. These heads are going to end up at the third party's place sooner than later, probably end of this week, early next. If I can get up there and do a hot shot on a Wednesday or a Friday night or something, I'll do it, or this weekend. So, all right, let me get back at it, and I'll let you know any updates as I come across them. Extremely tight quarters, but we got it in. We got everything off. By we, I mean me and my alter ego that wants to kill people. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Worked out here for 4 hours after working 9 at work, or 8. And I'm going to see if I can decide what to do. Jake has brought up some good points. He says the following. He's like, oh, wow, this thing is so smudged. He says, if you're going to send the heads out, why not send everything out? Because it's triple the money. And I don't think another shop wants to have their name on it. And trust. I don't trust that. I don't know. It's one of those things where, do you send a newly built motor off to get rebuilt again if you want to have everything checked over? Or do you feel confident enough that it's just the springs, you can just do the springs and put it back in, go through all that work, and imagine if I do all that work and other issues pop up. I'm going to be pretty let down if I let that happen. So we'll see. I'm going to sleep on it. We'll see if a clearer head tomorrow can give me a clue as to what to do next. But I got the engine out of there, so hopefully we can decide, or I can decide tomorrow what to do, what's the next step. So we'll see. It's not much, but I organized a couple of wrenches and things we might need, shoved them on the table over there, shoved everything else underneath. But at least we have a little bit of elbow room. I'm going to sweep up a little bit because it's nasty here. And hopefully get this wheeled out to the middle, get the valve springs done. Hopefully screwdrivers and little things that we'll need are readily available just to make the job a little easier. So the reason we can't take the springs out is because this tool, when you put it in here, it hits the radius. See how the edges of the cam lobe have a radius, and this is flat? It doesn't ride that properly. So what happens is when we try to put some compression on that or leverage, it hits the radius and it rocks, and it doesn't push down on the spring evenly. So we did another test where we just put air in it, and air was coming out of the exhaust and the intake, telling us that all either 2 or all 4 valves are bent, and that's prevalent on number 8, 4, and 5. We checked other ones, and the other ones are okay, so we either have bent valves or spring issues or whatever, but can't do anything here. So this whole situation is going to have to get sent out and looked at. So now I have to decide who to have it looked at, and who to trust to look at it. So that's the next step. Okay, we were about to start doing the springs, but as you can hear, we have air going into number 8, and we have air. Listen. And before you say, well, maybe the intake or the exhaust valve is open, we remove the rocker from it. There is no rocker being pushed down on this, but you can clearly hear that the valve is not shut, meaning we have either a bent valve or a spring that is stuck in the closed position. Who knows, but that at least verifies that I probably should send this motor out to get looked at, because with my luck, if I do the springs and it's not the springs, put it back in, I could have a bent valve. But obviously also the tool that we got won't work. But once we saw this, we knew that we were in for some deeper work. Alrighty, so what did we find after doing a whole bunch of diagnosing? Obviously, I could only video so much, but I did show you guys that number 8 was just leaking like a sieve at top dead center without the rockers on the cam lobe, meaning the cam was not pushing down on the valve to open it. So in its resting position, intake valves and exhaust valves on number 8, 4, and 5 were both leaking like a lot. So we looked at each other and said, well, looks like there's either bent valves for some reason on these cylinders, or there's other issues. Is it chicken or the egg? Did the weak springs cause issues with the valves? Did the valves not get done? Are they bent? Were they bent? Who knows? But at the end of the day, we have to fix it. Before you guys ask, yes, I did reach out to the motor builder. I let him know what I found, and I am not looking to have him fix it. He did offer, but obviously there is a level of trust that is just not there, let's be honest. So I'm going to go ahead and get them fixed here locally. I'm going to buy new valves, new springs, have the valve job done, get new gaskets. Hopefully I can mark the cams in a certain position so that they go back in the same spot. But if the cam gear decides to move, then all that goes out the window, and I'm going to have to make sure the cams get timed properly. But I'm willing to do the work because it has to get done. I can sit there and complain all day, but at the end of the day, it has to get done. But again, I've done my due diligence. I have paid my tuition. I have learned a lot through this process. So obviously, one of the more important things and one of the better things to learn through this process is to not repeat the same mistakes again, and that's why I am going to go ahead and have it fixed here and take control of the project on my end. So hopefully by shortly after the new year, I'm going to hopefully get this GT500 running again, or at least get the heads done. Jake is willing to help. He's a great, solid guy. He's been willing to help. So next week I'm off all week, so I'm probably going to pull the heads off, show you guys that. See if the cams stay in the same position to put them back in where they were properly indexed. Then we'll do a whole bunch of, buying valves and springs and take it to the machine shop and get the work done. I've already spoken to people. Seems to be some good people locally that can do cylinder head work on dual overhead cam engines. They have experience with GT500 stuff specifically. Apologies that I'm not able to get you more content on this car, but I paid for a product that does not work. So I'm going to go ahead and make the product work and get it done elsewhere. All right, guys, have a good rest of your year, Christmas and New Year's. Hopefully you guys stay safe, and I'll get you guys content on the GT500 sooner than later. So be on the lookout for me taking the heads off and getting the valves replaced and springs replaced. Have a good Christmas and have a great New Year. See you guys later.